Imagine you're in this kayak on this beautiful summer Maine afternoon, and you're just paddling. You're not in any particular hurry. You're not in any particular focus on going anywhere. You're just wandering. And wandering can be incredibly relaxing. Because when you wander, you don't have to think of anything. Unless you want to. And I choose not to. I choose not to think about anything, but feel the warm sun on my face and the light breeze and the sound of the birds. And the water from my paddles. And I see history here. I see hundreds, if not thousands of years that have made these rocks tumble like this and break. Over the harsh winters and the changing of the seasons. And the way the ice in the wintertime cracks them apart and makes them smaller. And sometimes I wonder what they looked like 1,000 years ago. And I wonder if the Native Americans were here 1,000 years ago. I'm sure they were. I'm sure that they camped and fished on these very rocky shores. Now here's a rock that looks like it was just cut like a piece of cake. Almost too perfect. That's interesting. And as you paddle, you realize that you can achieve the most relaxing state of mind by just doing this. And there's another rock that's been cut so straight and so evenly. It almost seems impossible that nature did that. And this round one. There's a bunch of them here. That is so interesting. I suppose nature must have done that, because who else would have? Maybe it was from the Ice Age, when the ice was here. And that's why I like looking at all these things, because it's history. It's history by just being here. Especially that one up there. That's interesting. And I think when you look at the simple things, you forget about all those things that you thought were complicated. And isn't it funny how all those complicated things maybe don't seem so complicated anymore? At least for now. And as you paddle in your kayak and relax even more, and the seaweed makes this soft brushing sound beneath your kayak, it makes you feel like you're floating. And in a way you are. You're floating over the seaweed. And one day, you might decide to pack a lunch and paddle further out to that island out there. That's public land. Because you've never been out there before. And that could be a whole nother adventure on another day like this. And you wonder how much more relaxed you can possibly be by paddling in a kayak. And just being captivated by nature. And you might decide to stop along the way and see if there's a trail leading into the woods. Or come back another time and create another adventure for yourself. Because every day can be an adventure. If you make every day an adventure. Because if you think about it, every day is an adventure, whether you think it is or not. Because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We can make plans. We can have ideas. We can have goals. But we don't know what's really going to happen. And what happens might be even better than what we ever imagined. And if it isn't, we have another day to make an adventure. And you never have to stop thinking about what might happen tomorrow. Isn't that cool? And you can even stop paddling and just let the wind and the current take you. And in a way, we can do that with our life. Let the wind and our current take us. And see where we end up. Isn't that cool? And so now it's time to go back to your cabin in the woods. And perhaps think about coming out here again on another day. But even though you're back at your home, wherever you live, you can reimagine yourself out here, just floating along and breathing in the fresh, salty air of the sea, and think of nothing.